Good morning everybody, and welcome to a very wet Saturday morning at, let me spin the camera around, the Glebe for the Golden Rod qualifier. Looking forward to this, to be honest with you. Never fished the Glebe in the winter, so hopefully a few pulls, and I've drawn peg 95, which is the M peg on Lake 6. Now Max Higgett has drawn the flyer, apparently, the top end, but I quite fancy it down here. You know, I've got a wind coming down here, I've got loads of space, I've seen one fish topping my swim. I don't know, am I going to catch some fish? It'll be interesting, but obviously the rules are a little bit different at this venue. You've got to use a 20-inch hook length, so I've had to readjust all my feeder rods for the setup. It's all got to be free running. So I'm going to be fishing bread and corn, wafters on the hook, maybe a little bit of bait through a feeder later on, but I'm just going to do a little bit of dobbing to start off with, see whether I've got any fish in my peg. Green swim 2 mils and normal 2 mils with BT green pellet soak, a little bit of bread and some sweet corn, and hopefully a few pulls as well. So let's see what happens. Aero X7 10-foot precision. Yeah, hopefully a few pulls. Well, we are 2.5 hours in now, and I've got 10 carp, which is really good, to be honest with you. I don't know how they're catching further up the lake, whether they're catching more than me, but I'm quite happy with that. I'm just alternating between that line across there and down this right hand bank, and they're worth catching. You know, they fight like hell, these fish in here, but they're like, I'd say they're averaging 6 to 8 pound, and I'm enjoying it, catching a few fish. This is ridiculous. here. Alright. we're into the last half hour now, and I'm chucking it just next to that pipe down there. And I've just literally what we call peppered the far bank, gone eventually worked my way down. I've got, with half an hour to go, I've got 17 carp. So apparently that's very good in this zone. Let's see what happens, but every fish counts. Edit that one. What an interesting day that was. Not weighed in yet. I've got 21 fish and I've started to, where is it? Can't see it on camera there, that reed bed there. And I've had 4 fish on it. Fishing a little, one of them little cage feeders, one of them German Uli cage feeders, white wowser. Rule on here, you've got to fish 20-inch hook length. So I've fished exactly a 20-inch, you like minimise the length of your hook length as much as possible. But down there underneath that tree there's a little pipe, and that's where I've ended up catching quite a few fish, and I've alternated mainly between that pipe and to the left of that reed bed there, 2 different clips, obviously 2 different rods, and I've had a lovely day's fishing, to be honest with you. And apparently the rest of the stretch hasn't fished that well, so hopefully I've got 4 nets in. I've got 6 fish in that net, 6 fish in that net, 6 fish in that net, and 3 fish in my left hand net. £60 net limit, and the decent fish, I reckon, I'd like to think I've got 130. I don't know, might have less, don't know, I'm not sure. So see what happens at the weigh-in.
Yeah. Look, here up bag. Wait for it to lock on. Yeah, 13. 13, yeah. 28. 13. Where's your cork? Down to that pipe. See that pipe? Yeah, blue. Yeah. Yeah, lovely fish, aren't they? $42.8. Yeah. 135.8. 135.8. Yeah. I'm going to check it when I tackle that net. So.
1. Thank you, mate.
Cool, thank you.
Are you going back now?
Yeah, just walk back, chuck the kit in and drive back up.
Yes, pal.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for helping.
That's alright.
So, the Glebe Golden Rod Qualifier. I was looking forward to this, and to be honest with you, I only bought a ticket the day before thinking, well, I haven't got anything on. I may as well give myself a chance of getting in the final. And I've never fished the Glebe in the winter. So I was, in a way, looking forward to driving down to the Glebe for somewhere different as well, change of scenery. And I drew peg 95. Now, that's Lake 6. I spoke to Kinder. Andy Kinder knows the Glebe like the back of his hand. And I had a chat with Andy, and he says it's not a really good area. But I said to him, you know, I've got loads of space. You know, surely I'm going to catch. I've got the wind blowing down there. He says, yeah, but the top end, where it's peg for peg, is usually the better end. Now, the only thing different with the Glebe than most of the qualifiers for the Golden Rod is you can own the minimum hook length you can use, minimum length hook length you can use is 20 inch. Whereas everywhere you go with the rest of the qualifiers, you can use a method feeder, you can use a long hook length, a short hook length, whatever you want. But that's the rules of the Glebe. So it was a really nice, simple approach, really. And like I said to you, I got to the peg, I really fancied it. Even after speaking to Kinder that said, look, you know, it's not a good area, it's not the right end of the lake, but let's see what happens. It just looked a really fishy peg. I got loads of space, the wind blowing down there. Never actually saw any fish move when I was getting ready, but I just felt as if I was going to get a few fish at some point in the day somewhere in my peg because I had that many options. And all I've used is a Yuli, like one of the German 3-bar cage feeders with 2mm micro pellets, swim stim, green swim stim 2mm pellets I use. And I alternated between a Speedy Washter 5mm and a Speedy Washter 7mm. And I just peppered the far bank. And what I mean by peppered is not chucking my feeder in exactly the same spot because it's gone cold, the water's going clear. I don't want to build up a tight area. I kind of like want to fish for one fish at a time by fishing in little areas of the banking, of the far banking. And in the first 90 minutes, more or less kind of like just at a slight angle to my right as I'm looking at my peg, I've had 5 fish. But then I've gone further down to the right where there's a pipe in the water, and that's been the strongest part of my peg. And maybe because there's a bit of a feature in the water, there were a few fish congregating around it, I don't know, but it definitely was a lot better as soon as I've gone further down the peg. I've used exactly the same rod. Obviously, I've just had to re-clip up. I've marked my line as well next to my clip, so if I did have to take my clip off with a better fish, I could then reel that same fish back, looking for that marker, and re-clip on, land the fish and chuck back out to the exactly same spot. It's a really important thing that when you feeder fishing, to mark your main line where you've clipped up in case you've got to take it off at some point. And that was the right clip, the correct length clip, let's call it, to actually alternate between next to the pipe and the bottom bank as well. So I kind of like was now working 2 lines. I just had a lovely day's fishing. It was awesome. I've only lost 2 fish that were foul hooked, and this happens generally because of the length of the hook length that I'm using. But I ended up with 21 carp, and that won the match with 135 pounds. So I've only fished 3 qualifiers. So actually on my 4th qualifier to get in the final, win the match, get in the final in March, not only is a tick in the box, but also to get it out of the way early. So now I can concentrate on my fishing on my local venues, but peace of mind, you know, knowing in the back of my mind I've got a final to look forward to in March, and one in on the Thursday, the ultimate final at Lindholm, which I qualified on the 2nd qualifier on Thursdays. So I've got 2 big finals now to look forward to at the beginning of 2026. So yeah, awesome days fishing, loved it, and I hope you enjoyed the video.